welcome to our second live stream of the day. Congratulations everyone if you've had your A-level results today. Everyone at DMU was so proud of you, and congratulations if you've landed your place today. So clearing is open now. You can give us a call or you can send us a message on WhatsApp. So the number to call us on is 0116 257 7000 and our WhatsApp number is 07970 655 800. So we've got a lot for you in this live stream today. So do keep watching, do stick around. We're going to be giving you a lovely campus tour with Jake. So I'll just bring him on and introduce him for you. Hello, Jake.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm good, thanks. I'm very wet and it's very windy here. But no, it's nice to be back on campus. How are you doing, Leanne?
I'm good, thank you. I'm not in Leicester, but I'm really missing it. And seeing the campus behind you, I want to be there. I miss it so much. Right, and then we are going to be speaking to Aisha from the DSU as well. I'll just bring her on to say hello.
Hi guys! I'm okay, how are you? I completely echo what you're saying, Leanne. I really miss the campus, and seeing Jake there just makes me really nostalgic.
It does, doesn't it? I just want to be there. So we're going to be talking to you all about what DSU does and what campaigns you're looking forward to this year and how students can get involved. And then we'll be speaking to Henrik from our inquiries team, but he's not actually with us on the stream yet, but he'll be joining us a little bit later on to talk to us more about clearing. And then we'll be joined by the lovely Neve, who is the current drama student at DMU. Hiya, you all right?
Hi, yeah, I'm good. Honestly, I'm exactly the same. I miss the buildings. I just want to be on campus again.
You're living all of our dreams right now.
Yeah, literally.
I'll be honest, I bet your dreams are probably not as wet as it currently is. It is tipping it down.
We do have sunny days in Leicester, we promise.
Yes, we do. It is important to say, yes.
Right, so what I'm going to do, do leave your questions in the comments as well. If you think of anything as we go through, do pop them in there and we'll answer them at the end. We've just got a comment from Reese saying, I got my results and I'm coming here to study accounting and economics. Congratulations, that's great news. Well done. So now we're going to go over to Jake, live on campus. We just miss it so much, honestly. And we'll be catching up with both Aisha, Neve and Henrik later on. Thanks, guys. Okay, over to you, Jake.
Right, yes. So we're going to begin today with a little bit of a tour of the Vj Patel building, which you can see behind me. It's this massive building, which is comprised of the food village, which is where I currently am. Oh, there we go. There's the logo. But also the majority of our arts, designs and humanities courses. So we're going to head in through the food village first. And then we're going to work our way through past the design tower. No, wrong way around. Past the arts tower and into the design wing.
That's it. Yep.
There we go. I know what I'm doing, honestly. But no, we're coming into the food village. If I quickly switch my camera around so you guys can see. There we go. So there we go. The food village is absolutely fantastic. It's a bit empty at the moment, but that's just because we don't have any students on campus. We offer all kinds of food to cater everyone. We've got a halal kitchen, we've got vegetarian options, vegan options, absolutely fantastic. They have a rotating menu, but they also have a lot of special offers in quite often. I've tested a lot of stuff here, which I would not have tried if I'd just been cooking for myself. I can say that for sure.
It's lovely, isn't it? And it's right in the centre of campus as well. So if you've got like a break between your lectures at lunchtime, it's the perfect place just to pop in. And literally, you've got so much choice as well.
Absolutely fantastic. So we're going to be taking our way through and outside of the rain, thankfully. We're not going any further outside for the moment. As we work our way into Vj Patel itself. So whilst I do this, do you have any fun facts about Vj Patel?
Fun facts. I can't promise you fun facts, but I can promise you some facts. So the Vj Patel building is part of our £136 million campus transformation, which has replaced the Fletcher building that we used to have, and it's absolutely huge. It's for all of our, like Jake said, all of our arts, design and humanities courses. The students can use the spaces as well. So myself, I studied media, and there are some photography studios in Vj Patel as well. So I made use of those. And yeah, it's like the campus transformation came with all this lovely green space on campus that Jake showed you earlier. We'll be showing you again a little bit later on. So there's just, I can't even name all the different facilities it's got. It's got it's the facilities for making glass, printing, arts, it's fashion. It's honestly, it's got it all, hasn't it?
It does indeed. Yes, so we've got glass facilities. We are currently walking into adhering to the one-way system that we've put into place to keep everybody safe. We are now working past some of the workshops that you can get involved in. Now, these workshops have been repurposed over the summer. Obviously, due to the lockdown, we weren't able to have that many students on campus. Obviously, we are working on that now, but instead, these were repurposed by our staff and volunteers to make a lot of PPE equipment and all sorts of medical important stuff for the NHS to help combat the pandemic. So as you can see, this entire corridor has this lovely glass facade, so you can see out into the beautiful green and into the pod, which is where we are headed next. But yeah, you can just see on the thing there a load of PPE masks being put into production. Absolutely fantastic. I'm going to have to do a bit of cardio now, which is something that I've never really been very good at. But that's absolutely fine because we are coming into the pod, which is a quite tall building, 4 stories high, with these fantastic, I don't know if you guys can see them, staircases here, which always remind me of the one from Harry Potter.
Yeah, they're a very popular place to go and get your shots for Instagram.
Absolutely. So we're going to make our way up here now and head up to the top so we can get on top of the terrace and have a nice look out at the view, because there is a lot to see from the top of Vj Patel. We're passing the Confucius. It is absolutely fantastic. We're passing the Confucius Institute, which is a very nice building on campus, a very nice part of our curriculum. The best thing I think about the pod and sort of the Vj Patel in general is that we have a lot of students past, present and current. Past, present, current. Past, present and not future. Why would there be future ones? We have a lot of their work up. Sorry, all this walking is actually tiring me out. No, so we have, if I switch over here, can you see my screen now? There we go. Mm-hmm. So we have a lot of pieces on display, like a lot of this building work. As we get a bit further up, we're going to have various bits of fashion textiles work. It's absolutely fantastic. But yes, thank you for joining us on the stream. If you are only just joining, we are of course here because today lots of people got their A-level results. We hope you did fantastic. If you did, make sure to, if you are interested in clearing, make sure to get in contact with those all-important numbers. Leanne, do you have them?
I do, yeah. They're going across the bottom of the screen now for you as well. But you can call 0116 257 7000 or WhatsApp us on 07970 655 800 until 8 o'clock tonight.
Should know them off by heart by now.
I know, I still don't. And if you have got into DMU today, congratulations. Let us know what you'll be studying in the comments. We'd love to give you a little shout out.
Absolutely, we absolutely would. So, as I mentioned, we've got some fashions and textiles work here, but we're just heading out now into the rain. I've got to get my umbrella ready again. To one of my favourite places on campus, I have to say. Absolutely.
Yeah, one of mine as well, actually.
This is the terrace at the top of Vj Patel. Not at the top, you can see there's the Art and Design Tower. That's a little bit too tall. I don't quite have the strength of my legs for that today. But from here, you can see the entirety of campus.
Oh, it's beautiful, isn't it?
It's absolutely beautiful. So that's the Queen's Building. We'll be going into that in a little bit. There is the Students' Union over there, next to the Mill Studios, which we'll be talking about in a little bit. And yeah, just fantastic. And I think it really helps to show how close everything in Leicester is, because if you can make it out, I can't quite zoom on here, but in the distance just over there is the Leicester City King Power Stadium. It's the place where I believe, I may be wrong on this, I believe we won the Premier League there in 2016.
Yeah, that's right. I remember.
I'm not a sporty person. I'm not that great with this sort of stuff. If you can
I'm
just
not
see
really a
that,
sporty person either, but the like momentum of Leicester and the atmosphere was amazing when they won. I stayed at a friend's house that night when they won, in the student accommodation really near the King Power, and it was such a loud night, but everyone was just so excited. And yeah, that just sort of sums up Leicester really. Everyone, as soon as something really good happens for the city, everyone really gets behind it, and it's just lovely.
for sure. Yeah, this is just a really nice, chill place to come and relax, do some work. Again, as former media students, I think we should probably mention that. We've both been up here a lot to take some nice photos. If you can just see that skyscraper in the distance, that is right next to the train station. So that's how close you are to your transport links here in Leicester. It is absolutely fantastic.
It's the perfect place to watch the sun go down as well.
Oh, yes. But it's important to mention that we are both former students here at Leicester. We both studied here and then came back to work. And we both studied media production, which was absolutely fantastic, wasn't it? And
absolutely
really, yeah, really brilliant course, really brilliant place to study. Right. I don't want to do another 4 flights of stairs, if I'm honest with you, Leanne. So I might have to pop off for a couple of seconds and take the lift and take the easy way down.
Okay, I don't blame you. That's fine. Well, while you do that, I'm going to have a look through some of the comments to see if there's any questions we can answer. Let's have a look. Well, when you go in the lift, I might bring back the lovely Aisha and Neve, and I might introduce you to Henrik as well, actually, from our inquiries team, because he's joined us now. So while you do that, we'll have a little chat.
Sounds good.
Okay, so Jake has gone in the lift, but we will have a little chat just while they do. We've got Henrik now as well. Oh, I think he might have frozen. We'll talk to him. We'll talk to him later. It's okay. So we've got a few questions in the comments there as well. So are you going to show the business building? Yep. We'll be coming to the business building later on in the stream. That's the Hugh Aston building. And then we'll also show you the outside of the lovely Leicester Castle Business School. What do you guys think of the Vj Patel building and the terrace and the green spaces? What are your experiences?
Oh, I think honestly, the Vj Patel building is like an architectural dream. Like, it's so beautiful. I think one thing I really do regret from the 3 years I've been at DMU is I never actually went up into the terrace. I never went.
No.
I once went up and I was like, oh, prepared to go and have lunch there. And when I got up, I realized it was an exam. I was like, oh, I can't go in because you have to go through a studio space to get in there. And I was like, oh, I don't want to interrupt them. So I never actually went.
Well, you can always come back and go.
Yeah, I just have to come pop in just so I go to the terrace.
We'll have to come back and visit. I think Henrik's camera might be working now. There we are. Hello.
Hello. Hi. You're right. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you perfectly.
Good. Yeah, sorry. I've been very busy with clearing. So, well, it's up now. You might see some people walking past, but it's very real. We're on campus.
Right down there, right in the centre of it all.
In the thick of it, yeah.
Yeah. So Henrik will be answering some questions later on, all about clearing. So I think Jake has got out of the lift now. He's back outside on campus. So I'm going to bring him back on, and I'll catch up with you all again a little bit later. Hi, Jake.
Hello. I sprinted down 4 flights of stairs.
Was the lift not working? What happened?
Sure. I ran down 4 flights of stairs. I'm so fit. I'm so in shape. No,
no,
I'm back.
Just understood what you were saying.
Yeah, no. I'm back. I'm back down on ground floor. You can see behind me, more or less, where I was. Back up there on the 4th floor. And we're now heading over to Queen's Building, which is my favourite building on campus, but I might be a little bit biased in saying that because this is also the home to the Faculty of Computer Engineering and Media. So do you have a couple of fun facts about Queen's Building for us today, Leanne?
Well, let me just have a look for you. Let's
I'm
see
going
what
to
we've got.
hide
So-
my phone in my umbrella so it doesn't feel like I'm going for a
Oh,
photo stop.
I feel so bad that I'm at home and you're out there like in the rain. So some facts about the Queen's Building for you. So it was actually opened, surprise by the name, by the Queen in 1993, I believe it was. And it's also a really economical, environmentally friendly building because it doesn't have any heating, but that's because in the vents at the top of the building, you'll see when you come and see it in person or from when Jake showed you earlier, there's some like the chimneys, sort of, not chimneys, but they go really high up and they've got these vents that open and close and regulate the temperature of the building. And I believe it's actually won an award for that before. But yeah, that's the Queen's Building there in all of its lovely glory. One of my favourite places to go.
I'll mute myself to give you a proper view of the entire building. I love it. It's so not peculiarly shaped, but it's not ordinarily shaped. Like it's very it was designed by it was actually designed by students back when it was built, which is a fun fact that I absolutely love. That DMU have got their own students in on creating this place. So we're going to have a quick walk in now. But yes, the Queen's Building is home to a lot of the Faculty of Technology. And
Computing, engineering and media now.
Computing, engineering and media, yes, my bad. I always get that mixed up.
Technology is what it used to be called.
Yes, but we have a lovely kind of mechanical look to this building because it's home to a lot of our workshops. It's home to the engineering workshops. In fact, we have the DMU race team have their workshops in here, right down at the back. But we have this lovely, big, expansive hall. If I get out from underneath the balcony and switch us over to see like that. There we go. Yes, so we have this lovely, massive, expansive hall with classrooms on every single floor. We have a radio studio in the back where Demon FM broadcasts from, but also the people of media production can get involved, and I believe a couple of other courses as well. We have a television studio in the back for people mostly of media production. I really know a lot about media production, funnily enough. But we also have all sorts of other workshops available.
I just want to give a shout out to. I'm just going to give a shout out to Sharon in the comments as well. She got her results today and will be studying English language. So well done, congratulations.
Congratulations to Sharon. That's absolutely fantastic. Right, I'm making my way back out into the pouring rain now. Although it has abated a little bit, which is a bit nice, but it's still quite windy. We're going to go past the library and then end up at the Students' Union. So we have a couple of libraries here on campus. We have the Eric Woods Library, which is specifically for certain courses. It has a lot of their specific books in it. But we also have the Kimberlin Library, which is a massive library that's open to everyone. Usually open 24/7. Obviously, at the moment, that has changed slightly whilst we're adjusting to the current situation. But all of the books that are available there physically, alongside that, we've got a massive library of digital ebooks that you can rent, which means that you don't have to worry about getting it back in on time, which is something that I occasionally forgot to do. Sorry. But I will just put them up on camera now for you.
The library team are also really supportive as well, so that they'll help you with your English and maths and referencing support. They're just really helpful in general, and like Jake said, they usually open 24/7. So even if you've got a late deadline that you need to hit, it's always there for you.
The library is absolutely fantastic for sitting down and studying. They have separate study rooms that you can book out so that if you've got a group project that you're working on, perhaps, you can get on that with people who you need to be getting on with that with. They've got all kinds of fantastic resources there for you. They've got quiet spaces and silent spaces to make sure that you're not to make sure that you've got the balance that works right for you. Because I don't know about you, Leanne, when I was studying, I was not very good at studying at home. I needed to come into the library to get myself to be able to focus, and it's just an absolutely fantastic resource for that. So we're sort of coming towards the end of the first half of our tour. If I switch over here, we have the Students' Union Building, or Campus Centre, rather, as it's called, which is a fantastic building filled with a lot of different resources for you. Behind there, we also have Gateway, which is another one of our buildings. We have Clapham over there. There's a lot of buildings on campus, but we can't quite go to all of them today. But the campus centre is the home of the Montfort Students' Union, and we'll be having Aisha back on in a couple of seconds to have a chat with her. There's also a lot of chill-out spaces, dance studios, and we have Sue's Diner, which does some fantastic food, I have to say. We've got a lovely Dmu 150 mural just here. But yeah.
It's just a hub for activity,
Absolutely
basically. So
I think that more or less brings us for sure, yes. Absolutely fantastic place. I think that kind of brings us to the end of part one of our tour, because I think I need to go and sit down and get a bit dry and get myself cleaned up.
Yeah, you get out of the rain.
But whilst I do that, whilst I do that, we're going to have one of our guests back on, aren't we?
Yeah, so we're going to now speak to the lovely Aisha from DSU. So I'll say goodbye to you, Jake, and I'll say hello to Aisha.
Goodbye, Jake.
Hi.
Hi, Leanne.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. Your top looks like it matches your mirror in your background. I love it.
I was literally just thinking that. I'm like, I am on point with matching today.
You are. So can you tell us a little bit about what you do at DSU?
Absolutely. So I am one of the democratically elected student officer. We have an election every year where you get to decide your student leaders for the year coming up. There are 5 full-time officers and 7 part-time officers. Each of your full-time officers are in charge of a different branch of your student experience. For example, my position being Student Opportunities Engagement Executive, mouthful, I know, but and I'm basically in charge of providing new opportunities for students, kind of being the voice for our student groups and our sports clubs. There's academic representation given to you by Laura, equality and diversity, we've got welfare, and we've got union development, who kind of overlooks us as a union and how we're functioning and running to best fit our students, basically. That's a little bit about me and my role in the Students' Union.
Lovely, thank you. So what's your favourite thing that you've worked on at DSU so far in your time?
Oh my God, there's been so many. But I think one that's kind of left an imprint on my heart is Light the Night. So it's a tradition that we always do, but this year it just really it was just amazing. So what we do is during the day, we come at the campus center. So where you've seen the 150 sign, inside is called the atrium, and it's just a massive glass box. It's a large space, which is multi-purpose. People use it for dance floors, they use it for events, we use it for dining. But we had a craft sessions where you can come and make t-shirts and signs for the walk. It was one of the most inspirational walks we've had. Light the Night is basically, we go out in the night with posters and banners and music and lights. It's to kind of stand in support of people who have been sexually abused or anything like that. So it was amazing to kind of see the movement, see us walking through town together, and just kind of being a voice for people who don't really have a voice in certain matters. So that was really amazing. We also had DSU Celebrates, which is our other tradition we have every year. But we had to move it online this year due to COVID. But I don't think that stopped the enthusiasm that everyone usually gets throughout the year. So I think those two are my top things that I worked on last year.
Okay, thank you. And if people want to find out more about those, everything that DSU does, you can find out more on their website, which I've just popped there for you, montfortsu.com. I know I feel like a bit of a YouTuber when I do that.
Me too. I just wanted to get in there with my fingers, oh, hello.
But you can find loads up more about Montfort Students' Union on that website. So how else can students get involved with the Students' Union?
There's so many things. So, for example, just coming and sitting in the Students' Union, you will get involved in one thing or another because there's something always happening. For example, we have stalls, free candy floss. We do a lot of free candy floss throughout the year. Then there's activities happening, dance sessions, people practicing. But there are other ways that you want to be like more and more involved. Is we have our societies and sports clubs which you can be a part of. And if you want, you can start your own society. So you need yourself and 3 other friends, and we kind of help you with the whole process. You can be part of a sports club. We have a new campaign called Give It a Go, which is basically taster sessions for different types of things you can be involved in. For example, governance, sightseeing, society in the sports club, dancing, and so much more. So I think the only thing stopping of anyone from experiencing or making the most of the SU is just being in the SU, because I think the more you be there, the more you are open to stuff and so many freebies as well.
Always freebies, love it. The amount of times I've just walked into the SU when I was a student and there was just candy floss, and I was like, what's going on? So there's always something to pull you in. Yeah. Okay, let's have a look here. So what have we got next for you? So I was wondering if you've got a message for all of the new students who have got their results today and will be joining us. So what's your message to them, and what would be like your top tip for getting started at DMU?
Okay, my message would be it's okay to feel the way you're feeling, because there will be a lot of emotions running through. You'll be excited, you'll be nervous, and that's absolutely normal. Like, there is nothing wrong with that. My top tip would be, when you get started, when you come on campus, don't be scared, because you kind of have to remember that everyone else is in the same boat as you. So you're not the only one that's overwhelmed. You're not the only one that's feeling a bit homesick. Everyone else is. And I just say, go out there and make friends, make memories, because these 3 years will fly by, and then you look back on graduation and be like, oh, it's over.
Yeah, definitely. Like when you're in your first year, you think, oh, I'm going to be here forever, you know,
Gotcha.
and then, yeah, but then you sort of get through it and it just flies by so fast. So you've really got to sort of grab every opportunity you can with both hands.
Yeah.
And talking about like grabbing opportunities, like joining a society as well is just another way to maximize a student experience. I think there are over 130 societies. Is that right? And so you can get involved in.
Yeah, and I think including our sports clubs, we have over 200 student groups that you can be involved in.
Wow.
So it's crazy.
Amazing. Were you
And
involved?
If nothing, I was. So I was just going to say, if nothing, like if we don't have anything that kind of fits your passion or anything, feel free to create it. And that's actually how I got involved in the SU. I actually created a society. I was like a bit of a blogger back then. So I'm like, we don't have a blogger society. So we created Dmu Blog Sock.
I remember that.
Honestly, it was really, I think that was a stepping stone to kind of me coming out my comfort zone in my journey at DMU. So in my first year, I was quite like focused on university and my degree, and that's it. But I didn't realize that it's okay to have some fun as well. And I think that's a lot of misconceptions that people usually go through, like, oh, you're just there to study. But I don't think that's necessarily true, because you have so many different opportunities available, which you won't be able to find in one space outside of university. So I think that was my gateway to all things great at DMU. And here I am now.
Yeah, you've done an amazing job at DMU. It's been so lovely watching your journey. It's so, oh yeah, I love it. And when I was a student as well, and I know when Jake was, we both joined Dmu Media, which is a student media group on campus, and we just absolutely loved it. They've got a magazine, a TV sort of channel on YouTube, and a radio station. So there's loads for you to get involved in. There's lots of different types of dance societies. We don't just have one. There's quite a lot of them. So
we've got about 10.
Yeah, we've got all of them. So again, do go to the DSU's website and start browsing now for what societies you want to join, and start getting in touch. Start making those connections and making friends now.
Absolutely. And I'll just add on a little bit about the dancing societies. Just because we can't be in a physical space together doesn't mean it stops there, because a lot of our societies do online classes, for example. So you can just kind of get your jiggy on in your room, basically.
That sounds so fun. I wish I could join myself. I don't know if staff can do that, but it sounds really fun. Okay, so what I was going to ask you as well, the question's just, when you think of something and then it just goes out of your head. Where was it? I was going to ask you about course reps.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I know Laura usually talks about this as academic executive, but being a course rep is a good way to get involved with the democracy side of DSU as well, and really supporting your course. Can you tell us more about that?
Absolutely. So course reps are kind of like the key links between us, the university, because we kind of take in everything they say on board, and we kind of make sure that these changes actually happen. You're not happy with your course, speak to a course rep. You can be a course rep. You'll get at the start of the year, you can nominate yourself to be a course rep. You can nominate a friend. And we just kind of have this course rep training that you go through to kind of how to approach your professor, what to do in these second situations. So course rep is like a hub of students from different faculties, different courses coming together and kind of making the course a better place. So kind of improving your student experience, not saying it's bad to begin with, but any trouble you might face or anything you might encounter. I was a course rep for the past 3 years of my course. In my first year, a lot of us were commuting students, and we weren't happy so much with our 9 a.m. lectures because they would just be, for example, someone would have to travel 5 in the morning just to get to the 9 a.m. lecture. So we kind of raised that up. Faculty took that on board. Our course took that on board. For the next 2 years, the earliest start we had was our 10 a.m. lectures. So we do listen. Changes can be made, and you can be a change maker. So I wouldn't say hold yourself back. I think push yourself out there, because these aren't some things that you'll just be like thrown in the deep end. No, you'll have a constant support, a constant backbone to kind of help you through your journey. Like you mentioned, Laura is kind of like our course rep leader. She will be there no matter what throughout any types of situations you will face. Behind Laura, we have our voice team, which is responsible for all of our training, all of our socials for course reps, any issues course reps related, the elections for course reps. So you're not on your own.
Thank you.
You get a really cool hoodie, which I will bring back because it's just over there. So once we're talking, I'll come back and just show the hoodie.
Yeah, well, when I was a student as well, I was a course rep I think I was a course rep for 2 out of my 3 years, but we didn't have hoodies then, so I kind of want one now.
It's okay, just come in the office, it's fine.
I will, thank you. And I also wanted to know what you're most looking forward to about the next academic year. What have you got coming up?
Oh my, okay, it's gonna sound cliche, but it's actually meeting students. I'm not gonna lie, because I think students are like our lifeline. We do everything for them. So I'm kind of looking forward to them, all the changes we made, see how it's coming into play, see how students feel about it, getting their feedback on it. So I think it really is just meeting and talking to students and seeing how we can improve, see what we can do, and see how the changes we made are kind of happening and how students feel about that. And I'm also looking forward to being back on campus because I just miss it.
I know, me too. I really miss the community feel that campus has as well, just because you're all together in one place and it's so easy to make friends. Like, I think I remember, do you know when the campus transformation happened and we've got these lovely little grey like walls throughout the campus, which sort of breaks it up. I remember just sitting on there once. Someone just came, sat next to me, had a chat, and I do actually message them time to time now. So it's such a lovely little community on DMU campus.
No, I always think of DMU as like one big happy family, because no matter what course you're from, we don't have any division, I would like to say. And it's just like anyone can talk to anyone, everyone will be there to support you. So to me, DMU is family, I would say.
It is, like, when you honestly, like, when you come and start studying at DMU, well, from today, when you've got your place confirmed, you do join that really big DMU family. I miss you, Aisha. I miss all of campus and DMU.
Yeah.
Right, I think we should probably wrap up now and move on before we start getting too emotional about DMU. Right, so I'm going to bring Jake back on now, and I'm also going to bring Henrik on. But thank you so much for joining us, Aisha, for this section, and we'll catch up with you later on for Q&A.
See ya.
Right, okay. So just before we move on to our section with Jake and Henrik, I just want to give a shout out to Matt in the comments who was watching on Facebook, who said he got his results today and is going to study media production in September. So congratulations, that's great news. If you have any further questions, do pop them in the comments and we'll
Best
answer them
course.
later for you. It is, we're a little bit biased. Right, so now we're going to be talking more about the clearing process, and Henrik is our resident expert, if that's fair to say.
Oh, put me under pressure now. Hello.
Well, we know you can deliver. So I think the best, easiest first question to get started off with, I guess, is what is clearing?
What is clearing? I mean, I'm literally in the thick of it right now, so you might see people walking past. So I'm going to apologise if you see people walking past. If anyone pulls a face behind me, hopefully they won't. But yeah, we're on campus right now, and we're processing clearing. So clearing essentially is just it's like a final opportunity for universities to fill any places that they've got left on their course, and it's also then another opportunity for students to gain a place on a course that still has those places. So maybe your results didn't quite go to plan, maybe what you're expecting. So you can look at clearing as an opportunity there, or maybe in the main UCAS cycle. So when your mates were applying in sort of January, maybe you didn't even think about going to uni. Maybe you wanted to do an apprenticeship or get a job, but you've had to change your heart, and then you can apply now and look to start university in sort of September, October. It's also really dark here, I've just noticed. Sorry.
Don't worry, I'm currently sat in the atrium of Queen's Building again. So I think clearing is a fantastic opportunity, but it's important to know exactly what you're doing and how you get into it. So how do people apply to clearing? How do we start?
Yeah, so essentially what we're doing today is call us up on 0116 257 7000, or you can WhatsApp us on 07970 655 800. And essentially what you'll be doing is getting in contact with one of our call handlers or one of our WhatsApp guys, and we'll look to make you a verbal offer over the phone or through a message. And then what you do with that verbal offer is you essentially add it to your UCAS track, and that's how you add your UCAS clearing offer to your profile. So just another thing to quickly mention, one of the most important things, if you are thinking of going through clearing, you can't be holding any current university offers. So you can't have any firm choice offers, you can't have any insurance choice offers. Clearing is for students that have no offers. So biggest thing to think of there, if you've got an offer and you're looking to come through clearing, that's absolutely fine. All you have to do is release yourself from your UCAS offer, which you can do on your own UCAS track, and then you can apply that way.
Fantastic. So yes, as you mentioned, you can't apply if you already have a current offer. What are some of the other issues that might get in the way of someone applying to DMU? What are the things that they should watch out for?
Yeah, I mean, hopefully we like to say we'd accept everybody, but for certain courses, things like nursing, midwifery, there might be an interview as well. So even if you do apply for clearing, you will still have a face-to-face. Face-to-face would be through a screen, but a virtual interview. So you'll have to pass that, obviously. And then I know clearing, typically some universities might drop their entry requirements slightly, but you still do need to meet a certain entry criteria to get onto those courses. So whether you've studied A-levels, BTECs, International Baccalaureate, an access course, that kind of thing, there is still an entry criteria that you need to meet. So I guess they're the three stumbling blocks, I guess. You might have an interview, you've got to make sure you hit the grades, and obviously you can't be holding any offers if you're looking to come through clearing.
So if I was someone now who just got all my results back and I wanted to give a call to DMU or maybe a message on WhatsApp, the numbers are going across the screen below if you haven't written them down yet. What is it that I'll need before I give you a call to make sure I'm most prepared for it?
So hopefully, or you've got a UCAS ID. Now that's like your 10-digit unique identifier that you probably got when you created a UCAS profile. And basically the good thing about that is it just means whoever you speak to is going to be able to locate your UCAS profile really easily, and then they can pull up your details on the screen, absolutely no problem. If you haven't got a UCAS ID, you can still apply for clearing. You just need to go and make one. So you can shop around universities, get as many offers as you like. Without a UCAS ID, you just have to make one at a later date. And obviously as well, you'll need your qualifications. So hopefully by now, it's 2:30. You've probably at least looked at your qualifications by now. So they're what you're going to use for reference when it comes to applying and that kind of thing. And then other things as well. So like depending on the course, like I said before, say something like nursing, for instance, there might be a few conditions that you need to meet, so things like interviews, but you might also have like a DBS check, a occupational health check, and these sorts of stuff. So if you are looking to apply, keep an eye on your inboxes, because a lot of that information will get sent out to you. The quicker you get that sent back, the quicker we can look to, get you started for September, October.
Brilliant, thank you. And I just wanted to know as well, what would be your top tip for someone who's maybe a little bit worried about going through the clearing process?
I mean, I'd say the biggest thing is clearing sometimes has sort of like a negative connotation that goes along with it, because sometimes people see clearing as maybe an opportunity for students that haven't done quite as well. But it's a really good lifeline. It's a really good opportunity to get that place at university. Maybe if things didn't go to plan, but like I said before, maybe you hadn't actually even considered it. There is also something called adjustment, and that's where students may have actually exceeded their predicted grades, and then they can actually look to sort of quote unquote like level up their their offer, that sort of thing. But when you come to start university in October, everyone's in the same boat. Everyone's at the same university. You're studying a similar course, and when it comes to graduating, it doesn't say on your certificate, this student came through clearing. At the end of the day, all the students are the same. So yeah, I mean, I just see it as a really good opportunity. Definitely one that's worth exploring if you haven't already. And thousands of students go through clearing every year, so it's really nothing to be sort of frowned upon.
Fantastic. We're going to probably move on to asking a couple of questions of one of our former students. But one of the final things we want to ask is obviously once you've applied through clearing, once you've been doing that, what will you receive? When will you receive your offer?
Okay, so when you apply through clearing, you'll get your offer. We'll call it offer letter, but it's more of an offer email. And it should be pretty instantaneous. Obviously, that should get sent to you pretty much straight away. Obviously, just check your spam inboxes or your junk boxes just in case it gets sent to the wrong place. And what I'd say is, if you are waiting on that offer, and maybe it's been a few hours, you've not received it yet, give us a call back and we can look to chase it up for you. But you should be able to get that pretty soon. And then once you do receive your offer, you'll have until 5 p.m. the next working day to accept that offer. So. And that's it.
That's great, thank you. So if you have any more questions for Henrik, he will be sticking around at the end for our Q&A, so do pop any more questions you've got about the clearing process in the comments. He's got all the knowledge and tools to answer them for you. And if you want a reminder of that all-important clearing number, again, it's at the bottom of the screen. It's 0116 257 7000, and the WhatsApp number is 07970 655 800. I still haven't remembered it, but by the end of this live stream, I will have done. Thanks so much, Henrik.
Thank you, guys.
Henry. Lines are open until 8 p.m. tonight, but they will reopen tomorrow at 8 a.m. So do not worry. But it is important to make sure you get in early so that you can get on the course that you want.
Yeah, definitely.
So we've got one more interview before we end up going back for the second half of our tour.
Yeah. I just want to
disappearing and muting every now and then, but it's quite a busy building, Queens, even at this time.
It's all right. We understand you're out there. You're on the ground. I just wanted to look at a couple of comments that have come in. So we've got a lovely comment from Daniel, who said they recently studied art and design foundation at DMU and they really loved it. We've got a comment from Iram, who said, I miss old days, love DMU. We've had some really lovely comments, so do keep them coming in. We really appreciate them. So we're now going to go over to our lovely drama student, Neve, who is joining us today. Hello.
Hi, so you caught me there mid-yawn. I was like yawning.
I'm so sorry.
Off to a great start.
Yeah, obviously.
So you study drama here, don't you?
Yeah, so I've just finished. I've done 3 years here, and I think I'll be graduating. I think it's on next Thursday. Yeah, God, it's happened so quickly. It's flew by.
It honestly does fly by, doesn't it? So when you were first choosing your universities, why did you choose to come to DMU?
Well, for me, I didn't want to go to university. I was adamant that I was going to figure something out, and I didn't really mind where I was going. And for me, it was kind of like a last minute decision. So with the school I went to, loads of people would talk about Montfort University, and it was like a key place that if you was someone who was going into like performing arts or drama and things like that, that it was one of the best universities to go to because of the facilities. And at the time, I was like, well, if everyone's talking about it and everyone's hyping it up so good, it obviously has to be good. And that's eventually why essentially I applied. Yeah, and I'm so glad I listened to like my teachers and students and stuff that already came here, because honestly, like the facilities were incredible.
They are, aren't they? That's something that sold it to me as well. When I first came to visit DMU and I went to an open day, it was the facilities and just how industry standard they are, and then also the campus and how that sense of community feel when you just step foot onto it. It really just sold it for me. So what is it that you like the most about drama?
I think what it was for me about doing drama here, it was more about the academics. The teachers and the lecturers that we have here have been in the professional world, so they know what they're talking about, and that's not just with drama, it's with pretty much every course. Oh, sorry, that's my dog.
Don't worry.
So yeah, pretty much every course is the same, where the lecturers have already been in that world. They've been doing that job for 20 odd years. They have the contacts, they know exactly what they're doing. So it felt like I was being taught by someone so experienced and wise that I was going to be going that way. And if I ever needed help, they were so intellectual and they know exactly what they're talking about. Yeah, it's really comforting to definitely know that these people who are teaching us know exactly what they're doing and how to get into the professional world. So you're not just a student anymore, you're a fully fledged adult going into adulty life, and they're guiding you there.
Oh, Jake, you're on mute there if you're talking.
I'm on mute. That's my bad. No, I was going to say it's absolutely fantastic, the support that the academics give us, give the students. I got to stop saying us. I'm no longer a student. I want to be. I really do, but I'm not anymore. But it's fantastic, the support that we get. So a big part of DMU, and something that we'll probably be getting back to later, is DMU Global, which gives you the opportunity to go across the world. So have you been on any DMU Global trips in particular?
Oh my God, I've been on so many. I feel like it was, honestly, DMU Global is the best selling thing about the university. If you have no idea what the university does or anything, I think the DMU Global, as it is incredible, and that's something that is a massive selling point. So in my first year, I went to Thailand. So it cost a quarter of the price because the uni fund for it each year. You get a grant for every that you're studying. So I went to Thailand for a week and I taught English to the children there. And honestly, it was one of the most life-changing experiences. Not only did I get to experience the culture and obviously travel, I obviously got to do something really, really nice and volunteer there. As well as I've been to Belgium, which cost me nothing. It cost me absolutely nothing. And I had all my food paid for me, my accommodation. I was in a festival and I performed there as well. And it literally cost me nothing because the university paid for it. And then in my final year, I've just been to New York. So I went in January, just before the world stopped. I went in January and it was fantastic. Yeah, and the thing is, they sort pretty much everything for you. So you get to do the independent traveling and your independent experience, but they help you with, they sort your accommodation, they'll sort your flights out, and they do have lecturers with you. So if you want advice or you need help and stuff, they're there with you. So it's just an incredible thing to help not only your academic life, because a lot of the DMU Global Trips do have some sort of academic aspect, or they have volunteering. So you get the best of both worlds, really, if you do them.
Fantastic. I absolutely love DMU Global. I ended up going to Berlin. It's fantastic opportunities. But obviously, it's not the only thing that we offer aside from your learning. So I sort of wanted to ask, were there any activities or any societies that you might have gotten involved with in your time at DMU?
Yeah. So obviously, as everyone else has said, societies are a fantastic way of making friends. I do regret not joining a society earlier on. So I joined the dance society in my final year. And as someone said earlier on, the dance society has lots and lots of different styles of dance. And I think the one I joined had 7 different styles, and depending on what different day you went, you could do different types of dance. And obviously it was all your choice. But you get to know people really, really well. And then you have like society nights where you get to like dress up and do games on a Wednesday. And then you can also go out to like so in the SU, you have like a little nightclub type thing. And then you can obviously choose to drink or if don't, or have a dance and stuff. But as a society, so it's a really, really good way to be a community, especially in a society, because it's like a little family. And even though things are changing, it's still all online. So you have online classes, online nights out, like games nights, or competitions and stuff. And it's just such an incredible way to make friends, because I think I wouldn't have met that many people who are just so like-minded to yourself if I wasn't to join a society.
So how did you come about joining dance? Did you go to a society fair at uni?
So I'm quite a shy person, believe it or not. I'm quite a shy person. So when I was there in my first 2 years, I always went to like the first few taster sessions, and I was like, I don't know if I should talk to anyone, like, and then in my final year, I was like, no, I can't have experienced all this time at uni and not do it. So I went out my way and I went to some of the taster days. And I wasn't sure how to go about it. So we've got Instagram. So I messaged the Instagram like, hi, my name's Neve. Is there any chance I can come join along for one of the classes and see if I like it? And they were just so friendly. And they was like, yeah, here are all the details. Here's a timetable. Come along. And I just turned up. Obviously, I didn't know anyone at the time. But after like 2 sessions, you find loads of people that are so similar to you. And then you're constantly talking like, you're going to the next class, or you're coming to the society night. At the end of the day, a lot of people are in the same boat as you as well, especially the people who've never been to a society or the first years and stuff. And you're all there together. So even though you're nervous, they're also nervous. So that's what you've got to remember. Like, you're all in it together.
And
For sure.
yeah, definitely. So what from that as well, you're all in it together, you're all in the same boat. And what other tips have you got for people when they come to uni to start making friends?
To make friends, I think it's just you have to do it. You just have to go out and do it. But that doesn't necessarily mean you have to physically talk to people. Obviously, the chattier you are, the easier it can be. But if you're not a dead chatty person, we have the power of social media nowadays. Like, social media is so good because you can message people on Instagram, you can message group chats for maybe your course or your accommodation. So yeah, that's a really, really good way to make friends. So you can break the ice a little bit more before you physically go meet someone.
Yeah.
Or even then, if you want to like just go out there and just say hi to people will more than likely say hi back, because we're all friendly. Yeah. So it's a good thing to do.
Absolutely. And I do love how much a lot of societies and stuff have adapted to going online. Like, I know we've mentioned it before, but mine and Leanne's old society, Dmu Media, weren't able to go and use their radio facilities anymore. So they ended up starting their own podcast and it's stuff like that. So it's definitely worth getting involved with society. There's a lot of cool stuff going on at the moment. So we've talked a lot about the university and we've talked a lot about societies and stuff you can get involved with. But I sort of wanted to talk about where the university is. So how did you find Leicester? What did you like about Leicester?
Oh, yeah. So at home, before I moved, I never really went to a big city. I live in a little village in the middle of nowhere, surrounded by farms and tractors. So when I came to Leicester, I was like, oh my God, there's so many cars, there's so many people. And for me, it was so like overwhelming. But the one really nice thing that I found with Leicester is there's so many nice green areas. We're surrounded by parks, surrounded by nature, and literally a 5-minute walk off campus, you're in like gorgeous gardens. And so it kind of feels like a home away from home, even though it wasn't the same as being in the countryside. It has that nice aspect.
It's got both, hasn't it?
Yeah, exactly. So no matter what, I'm 5 minutes away from Starbucks, but I'm also 5 minutes away from sitting on a bench in the fields with a Starbucks. So it's like the best of both worlds. And if you've got half an hour off before your next lecture, you can pop into town. So literally everything is on your doorstep. It's not a too big enough city to be overwhelmed, but the city's not small enough to not experience the city life. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. I think Leicester's a very compact city. Something because I also come from quite a rural area, quite a countryside area, and I found Leicester was really easy to get to everything, and everything's really accessible. But there's still a load of stuff that you might not have gotten. I've lived here for 4 years. I still haven't been to Bradgate Park, for example. I only went to Space Centre last year.
Apparently, it's gorgeous there, isn't it?
Exactly.
So
Yeah,
lovely.
I really want to go. I'd planned to go soon, but I think that's the thing about Leicester is whilst it's a easy to reach place and there's a lot of different places you can get to from city centre, like there's still so much to do that it's taken me 4 years to get to half of it.
And there's some gorgeous food places, I think. With how great the cultural diversity is in Leicester, it comes with absolutely gorgeous cultural food. So the city centre is packed with lots of flavours and just such nice restaurants. Obviously, I've not been able to go to all of them, but there's some really, really good ones out there. And they're literally on your doorstep. And I don't think you'd probably experience that in these rural areas. So yeah, the city of Leicester is a really good one for sure.
It's a glowing review. It really is. If you're watching as well, if you're watching now and you think, oh, I really do love Leicester, let us know what your favourite thing about Leicester is in the comments, because we could probably go on about Leicester for a long time. And Jake and Neve, you need to go to Bradgate Park because it's just
my friends tell me that all the time.
Golden hour. It's so lovely. So that's all we've got time for to have a chat about student life with Neve. So thank you for joining us. Will you be sticking around for our Q&A at the end of the live stream?
Yeah, I'll be here, don't worry.
Brilliant. Thanks a lot, Neve.
All right, see you later, guys.
See you in a bit. Right. Now I've got to do more exercise, haven't I?
Yeah, it's time for another campus tour. So we will be seeing the business and law buildings and just exploring a little bit more of campus.
Indeed. But we've got another shout out.
Yes, let's have a look. So we've had a lovely comment from Naveed, who studied with us doing fashion and textile footwear in the year 2000 and did an MA in design and manufacture in 2001. Thank you so much for watching. Even though it's been a while since you graduated, we really appreciate you keeping in touch with us.
Absolutely. I love. There's a lot of ability to get in contact with alumni at DMU as well. I keep in contact with a lot of people from a couple of years over me who have all done some fantastic stuff.
Yeah, and when you graduate, you become a part of our DMU for Life. I can hear the terrible weather. The DMU for Life community, and there's a lot of networks you can join, connect with other alumni as well, so that's really worth looking into. And just before we carry on with the tour, a quick reminder of our clearing numbers for today if you're thinking about coming to DMU. You can call us on 0116 257. I've lost the number, it's gone off the screen, I'm sorry.
0797 655 800.
That's the WhatsApp number, and then the calling number is 0116 257 7000. I'm a professional, clearly.
I've memorised it, but I've done a couple more live streams than you have in the last week. Oh, well, do you want the good news firstly, Anne?
Of course.
It has stopped raining.
Oh, fantastic. You can see Leicester without rain.
It's still windy, but it's stopped raining. So you might see some more hair antics, but that's about it. So we are starting back off where we left off, more or less. So if I quickly switch around to my other camera, we have over here. There we
Oh, I think we've lost you, Jake. We have, he's frozen. You'll have to wait a little bit longer to see the campus tour then while Jake sorts out his technical issues. You might just have to log out and then pop back in. But while we're waiting for that, I'm just going to bring Aisha, Henrik and Neve back on because I just really want to know what their favourite thing about Leicester is. So we should start with you, Aisha.
Oh my God, I don't think I can pick one thing, but my favorite thing about Leicester is the fact that we have so many different cultural restaurants here that you can just kind of go and experience different types of food because I love food. And the fact that everything is just close by and like walking distance from campus center or a bus away is just like, it's like a big cultural hub and I just love the food. So that's Leicester for me.
What about you, Henrik? What's your favourite thing? And you were a previous student here as well, weren't you?
I was, yes. I graduated 2017, so probably a little bit, longer along the line than you guys. But I'm also Leicester born and bred as well, so I'm maybe a little bit biased. But for me, it's all like the sporting stuff that you can do in the city. So I think as a sporting city, I think Leicester's one of the best that sort of punches beyond its weight. You've got, I'm not going to bang on about it too much, but, they won the Premier League a few years ago. Who can forget that? But you've got probably the most historic rugby club at least in the UK. You've got like really good basketball. You've got cricket. You've got all sorts of stuff. So I think if you're into sport, that kind of thing, I think Leicester's a really, really good option. And yeah, they're right on the doorstep as well to DMU. So, and they're always doing free giveaways, so you can get tickets to watch all the games. And it's just wicked. If you're into sport, definitely consider it.
Brilliant, thank you. And I know, Neve, we've just briefly touched on this, but again, what's your favourite, your top thing that you love about Leicester? And then we'll pop back to Jake.
That's a hard one. I do think the top thing that I found in Leicester is probably the mini golf place. There's a place called Caddy Shackers, and it's like mini golf, but it's like crazy and it's like different themes per different hole. They do really nice drinks there, and a really good place for like events and stuff. It's such a fun place. It's so like picture worthy as well. Yeah, so if you're ever in Leicester, go to Caddy Shackers.
That sounds really fun, actually. Well, I think we've got Jake back now. I can see his picture. So thank you, everybody, for popping back on there. And we'll hope that we don't have any more technical issues. But now we'll go around campus. So I'll talk to you all again in the Q&A. Right, let's get Jake back on for you.
Hello.
There we go. See you.
Yes, apologies. My phone dropped out for a couple of seconds there, but we're back. So we're picking up more or less from where we left off with the campus centre, which is the fantastic place where Aisha works, and you can get all sorts of bits and bobs, all the things that you need, I think, as a student, apart from studying at the campus centre. We're walking past Mill Studios at the moment. Now, we mentioned earlier Dmu Global, and you guys mentioned that you guys have been to New York. And we have this lovely mural of New York across the side of Mill Studios. On the other side, we've got Berlin. I will apologise. I don't know if you guys can hear that of the very excited dog down the road. But coming up now to the Hawthorne building, or rather the back of said Hawthorne building. I will be walking around to the front in a second. But while I do, why don't you tell me, Leanne, a couple of cool things about this fantastic building? A couple more fun facts, yeah.
Fun facts. Well, Hawthorne building is, I think, one of the oldest buildings on campus, if not the oldest building on campus. It's 123 years old, so it has been through a lot. And it's used to be used for our technical art school way back in the day. And I think it used to be, before campus was here, it used to be surrounded by housing and factories, but now it's still here, the same building as our students use it today.
Absolutely. It's a fantastic place. It is our main faculty for, that is a very hungry dog.
Can we see the dog? Or
he's not near me, don't worry. I'm not in any danger. He's a cute little spaniel. But anyway, yes, it is one of our main buildings for the Health and Life Sciences faculty. So we have all sorts of stuff in there, including various sort of medical labs, For our pharmaceutical course, we have a entire sort of pharmacy setup so that you can get a practical assessment on your work in a sort of test environment, I guess is the best way of putting it. But it is an absolutely fantastic building, and I'm now getting around to the front of it. So if I can quickly switch my camera around, I can show you just how good it looks. There we go.
Look at that.
Our own piece of Hogwarts.
Oh, I love the red brick, and it's just such a beautiful building, isn't it?
It really is. It's a fantastic building. If we come around to the front here, obviously we won't be going into this one. There's quite a big gate in the way. I'm not sure I'd be able to get through that, but we've got these lovely stairs leading up to the Faculty of Health and Life Sciences building. It is worth pointing out with all these buildings that whilst they are specifically certain faculty based, your lectures will, chances are, lead you to a lot of the other ones anyway. For example, being a media production, we spent a lot of our time in the Queen's building, but we also ended up having lectures. I had a couple in Hawthorne, in which I have to admit I did get lost the first time in there. It's a big old building. I had a couple in Hugh Aston, and I had a couple in Vj Patel. And Hugh Aston is where we're actually going to go next. But the important thing is that you get to see all of campus. You're not just always going to the same one building.
Yeah, so even though your facilities your hands-on facilities, your labs may be in those specific buildings. Like when I did my media course, I was based in the media buildings, but then I also had some lectures in the Hugh Aston building, which is business and law, which we'll be coming on to in just a moment. So you do really get to see and make use of all of those great spaces on campus.
Yes, so directly across from the Hawthorne building is the Hugh Aston building. There's a lot of lovely trees, which unfortunately are kind of getting in the way of my shot. But it's quite the opposite of Hawthorne. It's very modern. It's got this lovely teal colour around it. And this is, for the most part, our business and law faculty will be residing in here. So we have a lot of good facilities for our business and law students. We have I've forgotten what it's called now. The stocks trading room. Bloomberg, that's the one.
Bloomberg, yeah, that's
yes,
it.
We have the Bloomberg trading facilities in there for our students of finances who are interested in getting involved in a proper practice at that. We, in fact, are getting another extension to the Hugh Aston building. So this will be the second one for the Hugh Aston building. It already has the Pace building attached to it, which is a series of dance studios. But we are having another expansion to make sure that it can accommodate all of our students safely. So that's an exciting thing to be looking forward to. And we're excited to see what it looks like.
Yeah, like campus always seems to be evolving and transforming. It's just brilliant, honestly. Like when I first started, you could put a picture of campus when I started and where it is now, you wouldn't recognize it because it's just changed so much. But it looks absolutely beautiful now. So you're all really lucky to be joining it as it is.
Absolutely. I joined just as we finished Vj Patel building, and I was blown away by it. It's an absolutely fantastic place. So as you can see, I'm kind of passing under some quite old-looking architecture, and that is because if I switch myself back round, I've just passed under this turret gateway, which there's a couple of bits of architecture around Leicester, and in particular around Dmu. But this one is sort of back in the time of Richard III, so well back, marks the split between Leicester Castle and the rest of Leicester, which might seem like just a little bit of trivia, but it is also quite important because we are in fact coming up to Leicester Castle Business School. So, Leanne, what would you like? Have you got any more of your fun facts, or have I run you out of fun facts? So
I think I have.
You've got a couple more.
Well, what I wanted to say, so where are we now? So like we were saying earlier, when we were talking to Neve, Leicester is just the perfect mix between the old and the new. And where Jake, look at these cobbles on the ground, like this is the perfect place on your graduation day in your lovely gown to come here to get those all important hat throw photos. Honestly, it's just so beautiful. And there it is, there's the Leicester Castle Business School.
It's a fantastic place. I will say these cobbles are really picturesque for taking nice photos on your graduation day, but just be careful with the kind of footwear you're wearing, because I know a couple of friends who had a little bit of trouble getting down here in their high heels. But yes, Leicester Castle Business School was originally law courts, I believe, at one point, and they actually have kept parts of that in there for the business and law students, so that they can not the business students, more the law students, but yes, there's a nice photo of them, so that they can practice again and have a sort of a real world environment to get that practice in, which I think is a very important thing and something that you'll find across a lot of DMU. I mentioned it for a lot of our different faculties, but like for the computer engineering and media groups, we have workshops, we have radio studios, we have TV studios. For the ADH groups, we have photography studios, we have all these different workshops where you can make most forms of art. I won't say any because I'm sure there will be one. We have the mock-up pharmacy, the mock-up maternity wards, all this kind of thing in the HLS rooms. And then for BAL, we have the Bloomberg training rooms and we have the court. So it's really good DMU for getting some practical experience in.
Yeah, like when you graduate and go into the real world, you sort of, when you go into your first grad job after uni, you often find that you can be like, oh, actually I already know how to do this, because you've had that real life practice already at DMU. So it's really good for that, isn't it?
Absolutely. And the best thing you can do when you're at university, when you're at DMU, is getting involved with more, I know we've talked about them before, but more activities and more societies on the side, because it helps you to be able to continue using these kind of facilities properly with the training that you've got from your course, but also allows you to branch out yourself and try out other stuff that you might not have tried if you hadn't come to university.
Yeah.
We are
Where are you heading to next?
Well, I'm currently on my way to the Montfort University sign to sort of signal, I think, the end of our tour. I hope you've enjoyed. We are sort of coming towards the end now, so if there is any part that I have been over that you might like to see again, if there's any questions you might have about them, do make sure to let us know, because we are about to do a short 15-minute question and answer session and sort of go over any queries you guys might have in general. We're going to get everyone back, but I'm just getting around the corner to the Montfort sign, which you mentioned the cobbles being a very good place for people when they graduate. But the DMU sign is always populated at this in the summer with people either holding their dissertations and celebrating their dissertations, or holding their graduation caps a couple of months later.
Yeah, it's such a lovely spot. And when you're coming back to uni or coming to uni for the first time and driving through Leicester to go to your accommodation, you usually come past the DMU sign and you're like, oh yes, I'm here, I made it. It's a good feeling when you first pass it.
It is one of the big defining moments. I will also point out, as we're coming past it, the Edith Murphy House, yet more space for health and life sciences. Again, opposite Hugh Aston. Every building here is opposite another one. It's all really close knit. It's all really well condensed, I think is the best word, which is good, because that's not something that happens in many campus universities, I tend to find. But welcome to Montfort University, ladies and gentlemen. And hopefully we will be welcoming you guys in at some point soon. That's a segue. But this fantastic sign, I've got photos from last year when I graduated of me prancing around in front of it, happy as Larry. And we hope to see a good deal of you guys in front of it as well in the near future.
You're very close to town there as well, aren't you, Jake?
Yes. So I'm literally on the edge of campus, and it is about a 5-10 minute walk that way.
Yeah.
out to city centre, and you're in High Cross, which is our shopping centre. It's really, really well connected to Montfort. It is absolutely fantastic for getting in and out of town. You're from where I'm standing, about 15 minutes to the train station, 5-10 minutes to campus centre, 5-10 minutes to the nearest cinema, and all of our accommodation is near to campus as well. So everything's just so tight knit and close that you can get everywhere
Definitely.
whenever you need. Right.
So if you are interested in coming to DMU and you haven't made us your choice yet, you can give our clearing team a phone call. They are here until 8 o'clock tonight, and of course they are also here tomorrow. But they are open today, so you can give them a call on 0116 257 7000, and then you can also send them a message on WhatsApp on 07970 655 800.
I have
I did
memorised
that one all right, didn't I?
Yes,
I
you
know I
did.
could see you thinking along.
Right, I am going to head back down to campus. Head back down further into campus and get myself a spot to sit down and help you guys answer some questions. But whilst I do that, do you want to get a couple of the other guys back on?
Yes,
as I'm sure they might be well equipped to deal with some of the questions that I might not be.
Yes, let's bring everyone back on now. So we've got Neve, we've got Aisha, and we've got Henrik as well. So are you guys all missing campus as well when you're watching Jake do that tour?
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Right, so we've got a few pre-prepared questions, but then we will move on to the questions from the comments as well, just to give you a bit more time. If you've got a question and you've not, given it to us yet in the comments, that you have still got time to ask it. Okay, so let's get some of our questions up now. The first question is it too late to apply to study at DMU in September? I'll come over to you, Henrik, for this one, if that's okay.
Yeah, no, absolutely fine. No, we're still taking applications, so you can apply now through clearing. University won't start until the last couple of weeks of September to early October. And like I said, clearing's been open. It's been open since early July, and essentially it will sort of stay open until all of our spaces and our courses are filled. What I would say is, if you are thinking of applying, fantastic. Please do fully encourage it. But if you haven't made a UCAS profile yet, and you haven't applied to student finance yet, you might want to do those as soon as possible, because they can take a little bit of time just to process. So especially if you're planning on potentially starting uni in 6 to 8 weeks, sometimes it can take UCAS, take student finance, about 6 weeks to update. So just worth being a little bit more proactive. But yeah, we're definitely taking applications, and we're here today, we're here tomorrow, and we're here on Saturday as well. So.
That's great, thank you. And the next question we've got is: Are there many societies? And I think Aisha's really wanting to answer this one, so I'll come over to you.
That's fine. There are over 200 societies of sports club which you can be involved in. If you missed it earlier, if there is a society that you kind of want and is not on campus, you have the ability to create it yourself, and we will be there to kind of support you in every step of the way to setting that up. I hope that answered the question.
It does, that's perfect, thank you. Right, let's have a look at the question. So it says here, how long will it take to get my place confirmed? So I'm guessing that's after you've ran clearing. How long will it take to get that offer? I'll come to you again, Henrik, for that one, if that's all right.
Yeah, no, that's absolutely fine. How long does it take for your place to get confirmed? It's pretty instant. So if you were to call us on our clearing number, which I'll just give it a shout out again, it's 0116 257 7000. You can get a verbal offer. Obviously, if you meet the criteria that we're looking for, you can get a verbal offer, and that offer will last for until 5 p.m. the next working day. So you have until that time to accept it before it expires. And all you need to do is you need to add that as a clearing choice on your account. So as soon as you spoke to one of our call handlers and they make you that offer, that's your offer there. So pretty instant.
Perfect, thank you. Okay, and next question is, we've definitely covered this already, but what is Leicester like? Who wants to go for this one? Neve, I'm coming to you.
I hate to be in there. So Leicester, it's a city. It's not too big, it's not too small. It's like that perfect size city that you can have the nice city experience with big shopping centres, the big shops like Apple, the really, really good food there. But also there's lots of parks as well. So you get a bit of best of both worlds.
That's lovely, thank you. Yeah, I really love Leicester as a city. When I originally moved to Leicester when I came to uni, because I came down from Sheffield, and I just absolutely loved it because it still had all that lovely green space that Yorkshire has as well, and it absolutely loved it. Another question here, again, I think we covered it earlier, but how can I make friends when I join?
Yeah, so making friends, I think definitely is joining societies, social media as well. So get yourself in group chats with your accommodation, get yourself in group chats with your course, and just talk to people, if that's in person, by walking past them if you're going to the same event, or online, because that's the best way to make friends. Get to know as many people as you can. Yeah, and just talk to people.
There we go. Oh, we've got Jake back now. A bit more of a connection problem.
Apologies. I am, in fact, actually stood outside of something I did manage to miss on the tour, so I'm going to quickly highlight it, which is the Vj Patel television, which is massive television on campus with a lot of seating around it. So we often play a lot of stuff like films and whatnot on there. It's an absolutely fantastic place to come and just chill after a hard day of studying.
Lovely, thank you, Jake. Right, let's go on to some questions from the comments now. Let's have a look at what we've got. You've still got some time to get your question in, so if you haven't yet, then don't worry, you've still got time. Okay, let's have a look. Bear with me just one moment. I'm just having a look through them now.
It has started raining again.
Oh
so
no.
That's great.
Find somewhere to get sheltered.
I think I'm quite lucky. It's not raining here.
Oh, no, it is.
At the very least, it allowed us to get through the second half of the tour without issue.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine.
We've got a question here from Theon, which says, do you need to wear a mask when you go outside? So I'm guessing you mean on campus, but you'll be required to wear a face mask during face-to-face teaching sessions. So that'll just enable us to deliver as much face-to-face teaching as we possibly can, in line with social distancing guidelines as well, of course. All students will be provided with 2 reusable face masks when they get to DMU as well. And it's important that you always bring it with you when you come to campus, just in case, as you've got to protect yourself and others when it comes to COVID-19 as well. Okay, let's have a look. And someone says here, is DMU offering January intake? I believe we still are. So if you look at the course you want to apply for, usually on the right-hand side of the webpage, it'll sort of say when the start dates are, if it's September, if it's January. So the course pages are a really good place to start. Have you got anything to add to that one, Henrik, maybe?
Yeah, I'd just say keep your eye on the course websites because of the current situation. Things like January intake could be subject to change. So that's completely fluid at the moment. It's changing as the regulations change. I don't actually think we're taking any January intake courses through clearing. Someone might correct me if I'm wrong, but even for things like your nursing, which typically has maybe January to March intake, I don't think at the moment we're taking any deferred entry. But like I said, that might be subject to change depending on just government legislation and that kind of thing. So just keep an eye on the website and keep an eye on any updates from the government and that sort of thing.
That's great, thank you, Henrik. We've had another question coming from Reese saying, can I ask if the food is expensive at all there? So I think that's in relation to the food village when we went on our tour earlier. Who wants to answer this one for us?
I'll take it. I wouldn't say it's expensive. I feel like you get a meal deal option, and there are food that range from very different ranges for many. So from a student point of view, it's not expensive, and I think we've kept that in mind, having a food village on campus and keeping the prices low because we know students are coming to it. So it's not the usual expensive 5-star hotel thing, but it's reasonable, I would say.
Thank you, Aisha. I completely agree with that one there.
I was going to hop onto that one as well and say, in general, Leicester's very reasonable for finding a good place to eat, a good place to meet up with some friends, perhaps. And we've got a lot of other options on campus as well. If, say, there's a day when Food Village isn't offering everything that you might want, we have the Riverside Cafe at the end of Vj Patel, which do amazing vegetarian food. And we also have SU's Diner, or Sue's Diner, which offer a lot of very affordable and very nice food as well.
That's great. Thank you, Jake. Okay, so we've had another question here from Sabina. Will we be on campus for any teaching because of coronavirus? The answer is yes to that. So we are doing delivering a blended approach of teaching and learning for you. So you will have some teaching online, and then you will also have some in-person, face-to-face sessions on campus. You can find out more about that on our website at dmu.ac.uk/yourdmufuture. And it goes into more details and breaks down of what the lectures will be like, what the seminars will be like, and loads of more answers to your questions in the FAQs. Was there anything else anyone wanted to add on to that one?
No, I think just completely echoing what you're saying. Like it is a confusing and uncertain time for everyone, but we are all trying our very best to kind of make everything accommodating to students. There will be some times where things will be online, and sometimes it will be in person, face to face. So it is a blended approach. We're not going one way or the other, if that's what you're asking.
That's great, thank you. There's a question we've got here. Will I still be able to get accommodation? I guess that's if you come through clearing. So I think we do have a guaranteed accommodation offer. Can you tell us more about that, Henrik?
Yes, so we are currently offering guaranteed accommodation for first year students. But obviously, same again, that is subject to change as clearing spaces get taken up. We might eventually have to stop offering that. So if you are interested to come through clearing and guaranteed accommodation is something that you're interested in, definitely don't sleep on it. Have a look at the website, have a look at the accommodation options, and yeah, you'll be able to secure that as early as you can. Obviously, bear in mind that some of the accommodation might be unavailable because of clearing and stuff like that, but there is still some left, and we are still guaranteeing that to first year students.
That's great, thank you. And just a reminder of the all-important clearing numbers as well. They're at the bottom of the screen for you. But you can call our team on 0116 257 7000 or WhatsApp us on 07970 655 800 until 8 o'clock tonight. But of course, the clearing lines will be open for a really long time now. I can't remember when the clearing lines close. Do you know that one, Henrik?
Clearing tonight is 8 p.m. Tomorrow is, oh, you're testing me now, 6 p.m, 6:30, and Saturday is 4 or 4:30. Sorry.
What about Monday?
Probably back to 8 o'clock. I'm not sure. I'm not sure about Monday. It's too far in the future at the moment, yeah.
Okay, another question we've got here is there much to do in the city? I think we did cover this one earlier, but does anyone want to talk about this a little bit more?
I'm happy to jump onto it. Yes, is the short answer to it. As we mentioned earlier, Leicester is a city that a lot of stuff's very easy to reach, but there's a lot of stuff to do in the city. So obviously we've got the usual things like cinemas and all your different cafes. One of my favorite things to do is to go out of an evening and just find a new cafe to explore. But also there are plenty of different green spaces, and there is 2-minute adventure golf courses, which is something I didn't really expect from coming to Leicester, and also 2 bowling alleys around, as well as plenty of other bits and bobs to get involved with.
That's great, thank you. We know Neve loves the golf as well, so
I love mini golf. I love it.
okay, let's have a look at another question here. So it says, how long do I have to reply to my UCAS offers if I don't meet the grades? Is that something you're able to answer, Henrik?
Yeah, so I think what you mean is how long do you have to accept an offer? I mean, please pop in the chat if that's not what you mean. But you'll have, so from the moment we make an offer, you have until the following working day at 5 o'clock to have that updated and accepted on your UCAS track. So obviously, if you called us on a Saturday, we'd move that to the Monday just to give you that little bit of leeway there for people to process things. But If that's what you mean, I think that's what you mean. It's the following working day at 5 o'clock. And all you need to do is go onto your UCAS if you've already got a profile, and you add a clearing choice on there. If you need to release yourself from any of your options, you can do self-release. That's also on UCAS track. And if you don't have a UCAS profile created yet, all you need to do is you can simply go in and you make one, and then it's just the same as, you pay a small fee to make that clearing offer, and then you add it to your profile, and then it links through, and you're ready to go for sort of September, October.
Great, that's fantastic, thank you. And do pop in the comments if that's not what you meant by your question, because we'll sure be able to answer it properly if we didn't understand it right. Okay, let's have a look at the question. So we've got one here which says, are the academics supportive? I guess this is one for you, Neve and Aisha, but then also Jake and Henrik, because we're all students or former students. This is really great, actually. So who wants to go for this one?
Yes, I'll start. The academics are brilliant. They become more like friends on a level because they're so nice and they genuinely care about you. They care about what you're doing in your personal life. They care about how your mental health is, your physical health. So not only do they support in your academic life, they also support you in your emotional life and your personal life, which really is really nice. One thing I found with my lecturers is, for example, if there's something I was interested in and which my degree was going down, because there's multiple pathways you can choose to go down when you're doing your degree, they would send me information or send me links to maybe some books or some other events that are going on that would interest me. And I feel like that really, really shows, because the fact that academics remember what you're doing, even though they may have different students doing different modules and different pathways, they still remember what you're doing and they'll send you personalized information. So for me, that was like one of the best things. It made me feel really valued.
Oh, that's really great to hear. And have you got anything to add to that as well, Aisha?
Yeah, I'm just going to talk about my experience as a student. Completely agree with Neem said, that you get some really supportive lecturers and academics, and they just really want to see the best in you, and you want to make sure that you make the most of your 3 years at university. And like she's mentioned previously, they're all experts in the field that you're currently studying in. So having that kind of reassurance and input and advice from them is actually absolutely really crucial. So yeah, I've had some really good academic experience, but then again, there are a few academics that they're not as interactive and stuff, but we're always there to kind of help with that as well. But overall, the academics are really supportive throughout, no matter what. Like, you can always email them, you can go up to them in person. Well, you have to book a meeting and stuff like that, but it is quite supportive.
That's great, thank you. Oh, we've lost Jake again. But no, I can completely echo that as well. Like when I was a student, the academics and the lecturers were always really supportive. If I had any questions about work, I could email them. And usually they would get back quite quickly, or you can ask a question when you're there with them in a lab session. I think we've got Jake coming back now, we'll see. Right, let's have a, I think we've responded back. She meant the existing offer she'd been given in January, Henrik. Is that one we're able to elaborate on?
Yeah, I guess, I mean, it'd be a similar sort of scenario as well. So how long do you have to reply on your UCAS? It depends if you've made as your first choice or your firm or your insurance choice, that sort of thing. As I've mentioned before, if you've accepted an offer elsewhere and you want to come to DMU, unfortunately, we will have to release yourself from your current offer, and that will put you into clearing. And then you can feel free to look around and see what courses you might be eligible for. But for any questions, same again, just contact the clearing team on 016 257 7000. Give us a call, and one of our amazing call handlers will be able to sort of talk you through the options and that sort of thing.
That's great, thank you. We'll just have 2 more questions, then we'll have to wrap up and say goodbye. But this one is from Ben, and it says, for computer science, what buildings are the lectures and classes in? So computer science is in the Faculty of Computing, Engineering and Media. So I think there are 3 key buildings for that one. Do jump in, correct me if I'm wrong. So we've got the Queen's Building, which is for that faculty, which Jake went to earlier and showed you. There is Bede Island, which is just over the river as well. And then there's also Gateway House, which is really close to the campus centre. It's a really big building.
That's where I am now, by the way.
Is it?
Yeah, I'm in Gateway House.
Live from the floor. They've recently redone the entrance as well, so it's looking really lovely, but that's probably where most of your classes will be based. Okay, and then we'll go for one more question. We will try and respond to your questions if you've put them in the comments after the live stream, but you do feel free to get in touch as well if we've not answered your questions today, because we can only fit so much in, I'm afraid. I would love to sit and talk to you all day, but unfortunately I can't. We've got another question here from Santosh. It said, is there any part-time jobs for those who are international students? Can I come to you on this one, Aisha?
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm more than happy to take this. Me being an international student, there were so many opportunities for me to take in terms of employment. For example, at Campus Centre, you can be a student ambassador or a brand ambassador, which is basically you get to do these really cool jobs like work clearing, open days. You work as a brand ambassador in your faculty as an open day. So I got to speak to a lot of students who are interested in my course. Also, the job I'm currently in, so being a full-time officer at the Students' Union is something any international students can do. So alongside that, we have Unitemps, which helps you get employment around Leicester, on campus and stuff like that. So there are a lot of job opportunities for both international and home students.
That's perfect, thank you. And I just want to answer one more question, because we've had this come through a couple of times just in the past few seconds. How long is it taking for admissions to reply to emails at the moment? Because we know they're obviously it's their busiest time of the year, but do you know how long it's taking at the moment, Henrik, for the turnaround on these?
I don't work in admissions, but I know they are extremely busy, so they've got to process all the applications that are coming through now, so like thousands of them. I can't give you an exact time because, you know, I don't want to missell anybody, but you know, if you chase anything up, you've got the email addresses there, and alternatively you can call through our clearing line, because we're sort of dealing with like a similar bunch of work at the moment. But yeah, hopefully not too long. But just please bear in mind, we are busy, and we're all, you know, half of us are working from home as well, which is, you know, it's really strange times for everybody. But yeah, I'd say just, you know, feel free to chase anything up if you've got anything outstanding.
That's great, thank you. Yeah, if you're worried that something's taken a little bit longer to... Oh, still got a question on the screen. I'll remove that as well. Sometimes the best thing to do is pick up the phone, because then you get in touch with someone straight away, and you've got that personal contact with them then, and then they can help you get your problem sorted. So we have come to the end of our live stream now. It's honestly been an absolute pleasure talking to you, and thank you so much, everyone, for watching and sending your questions and leaving such lovely comments about Leicester and DMU as well. We really appreciate it. So just a reminder then, does anyone want to say the clearing numbers? Because I think I've said them so many times now. Do you want to go for it, Jake? See that you've really memorised them.
Okay, so if you want to call us, you can call us on 0116 257 7000. That's 0116 257 7000. And of course, if you want to get in contact on WhatsApp, I feel like I'm in Children in Need or something. If you want to get in contact on WhatsApp, it's 07970 655 800. That's 07970 655 800. Lines are open
Perfect.
until 8 p.m. tonight.
I am loving the presenter voice, Jake.
I feel like I'm the
Should
guy
get your
on
own
Strictly
TV
Come
phone.
Dancing telling you where to get your votes in.
Yeah, it
Calls
sounds
made
like
after 8 p.m. may not apply.
If you want to find out more about clearing as well, you can also go to our website. So that's dmu.ac.uk/clearing. Everything's there for you, all your information about accommodation and how to apply through clearing for you. And then you can also go to our website for your DMU Future, which is our offer of blended learning in the next academic year. That's dmu.ac.uk/your DMU Future at the bottom there. There's loads of information there for you for home students and international students, and lots of FAQs. So if you do have a question, it might already be answered there for you as well. But yeah, thank you, honestly, so much for joining us today. And thank you, Neve, Aisha, Jake and Henrik for sticking around for so long. And if you've watched through the whole stream, well done. Thanks for getting through it with us. Hope you enjoyed the campus tour. And we really hope to see you here on campus with us in the autumn. Take care, everybody.
Take care.
Take care.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.